How the hell are you supposed to be one of the top players in the world, and you can't guard another top player? Are you Stephen Curry now? Should we switch his name from Paul to Stephanie?
I'll admit it, you got me feeling hella love. Even when it's going down, know that we gon' live it up. Young shot caller, always been a baller.
What's going on, guys? It's Steve. Listen. Yet again, for the millionth time, Carmelo Anthony absolutely, positively embarrassed Paul George. Now, I have a lot of Indiana fans that watch my videos, and Landon Myers and a whole bunch of other Indiana Pacer fans out there. Listen, I told you guys, you're not better than the New York Knicks. I told you in the beginning of the season, Carmelo Anthony is better than Paul George. And what happens? Paul George was getting so embarrassed out there, that they tried to put Thaddeus Young, who is a pretty solid defender, not as great as a defender as Paul George in my opinion, but they tried to put Thaddeus Young on Carmelo Anthony, and Carmelo Anthony floored Thaddeus Young, embarrassing him, breaking his ankles. And then they tried to put Paul George back on him. He was backing him down in the post like a baby, like he always does. It's just there was this comment under the NBA Channel's YouTube video where they put Carmelo Anthony leads the Knicks to a win. Someone said either Paul George is an overrated defender or Carmelo Anthony is unguardable. I think it's both, because we all know what happened. Melo drops 35, 15 points in the third quarter with 7 3-pointers. Come on now, man. And this is funny because in the beginning of the season, people were saying, how the hell can you say, God, Paul George is better than Carmelo Anthony? And, how can you say Carmelo Anthony is better than Paul George? Paul George is way better. He can do everything on the floor. Oh, he's way better. So how come he can't perform against NBA superstars like Melo? How come he can't perform? What did he have, 15, 16 points? Come on, man. The crazy thing is, the Pacers were up the majority of the game. I actually thought we were going to lose. I thought we were. And then guess what happens in the third quarter? Who takes over yet again? Carmelo Anthony. It's simple. He's been doing this his entire career. And I know a lot of people are going to make excuses. Oh, Paul George, this is just one game. Watch Landon Myers say, oh, Paul George, he just came back from an injury. We're getting better. Funny how, our team's been injured this whole time and our record's not even that bad. You're going to say some crazy stuff like that. That's what these fans do. They make excuses. It's absolutely ridiculous how many excuses some of these Pacer fans make. So, any Pacer fan out there, I wouldn't be surprised if you switched to a New York Knicks fan, because after last night, after what Carmelo Anthony did to you guys, Ron Baker doing that little dance on the bench, Kyle Quinn dancing on the bench. Who was laughing at Ron Baker the way he was dancing? I think that was Justin Holiday laughing at the way Ron Baker was dancing. You guys just need to switch to being a New York Knicks fan, because our future is bright and your future is dim, because Paul George ain't staying. I'm sorry, but he's not gonna stay. I know he said, oh, I want to be what Reggie Miller was like to the Pacers. Well, Reggie Miller is the most overrated player of all time. So if you want to be that, go ahead and stay with the Indiana Pacers, because you're never going to win a championship there. Not saying the Knicks are, but who knows if we get Chris Paul, you know what I mean? But anyway, yet again, Carmelo Anthony embarrasses Paul George. And I told you guys this from the get-go, that Carmelo Anthony was a better player and that Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are overrated. Yeah, I kind of bit my tongue a little on Kawhi because he's playing like a superstar this year. So I'll give you guys that. But Paul George, come on, man. I was right, man. He's not a superstar. Come on. Superstars don't have bad performances like that. I know Melo had an 8-point game against LeBron, whatever. But Melo only played like 20 minutes in that game. Paul George played nearly 40 minutes last night, and he got embarrassed. How the hell you're supposed to be the star of your team, and the coach takes you off the opposing star player? That's embarrassing. That's absolutely embarrassing. How are you supposed to be one of the league's premier defenders, one of the best players in the world, according to your Indiana fans, right? Not according to us, because realistically he's not. But anyway, He's one of the most premier defenders in the league. And he takes them off. Carmelo Anthony, because he can't guard Melo. Melo's babying him in the post. They put Thaddeus Young on Carmelo Anthony. And Melo absolutely drops him to the floor, hits the jump shot in his face, and embarrasses him. They try to put Paul George back on him. Melo goes back in the post. Mealtime. Baby time. Paul George needs to hit the weight room. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. And the next time we play, the same outcome is going to happen. And it's crazy. I was actually going to make a video for yesterday saying Carmelo Anthony's going to destroy Paul George tonight. I really was going to make it, but I schedule videos ahead of time just in case I can't make a video about something that's going on important at the time. You right? So last night I tried to, but I twisted my ankle really bad. And it was a struggle driving home because I drive manual, so I had to use clutch. And, it's crazy. So it was a struggle. By the time I got home, everyone was home. It was just a bad situation, bad timing. But it don't matter because Melo showed up when he showed up. KP showed up. KP had 21. Derrick Rose, I think he had like 9 assists or 6 assists. I mean, our bench did her thing. That's a great team win, man. Great team win against a team that thinks they're in the same level as us. Come on. Indiana is not on the same level as the New York Knicks. I already told you guys this. The New York Knicks are an NBA. If they all perform at a high level, they're a super team. But for the most part, they're an elite team. In the Eastern Conference, they're up there with the Raptors, right? No other team can compete with them in the Eastern Conference besides Cleveland and Toronto. And it actually should be the other way around. The only other two teams that can compete with Cleveland are Toronto and New York. And in the Western Conference, it's the same thing. It's Golden State by itself, just like it's Cleveland by itself, and then Toronto and New York, or New York and Toronto, and then it's Los Angeles, San Antonio, and Memphis, or however order you want to have it. But I'll say this, man. I'll say this. Last night was a statement night. A very, very good team win for the New York Knicks. And to be honest, I'm surprised that so many people were doubting Melo. So many people were doubting Melo. I was seeing comments on Zemo Finals videos, people talking about, oh, I can't wait for this game tonight. I'm like, okay. And I'm saying, watch Paul George cook Melo, and Melo's an overrated bomb. Oh, what are those people saying now? He's overrated? 25, 6, and 3 for your career is overrated now? Oh my goodness. You want to talk about overrated? Look at Paul George's career stats. What's his best NBA regular season stat? 21 points per game? Come on. Melo's been doing that for almost 15 years now. Are you going to tell me that Paul George is better than Carmelo Anthony because Melo missed the playoffs for the last 3 years, even though he made it 10 years in a row? You're going to tell me that? And then there was one point where Melo had more playoff appearances than LeBron, and Melo should have been Rookie of the Year instead of LeBron, 21, 5, and 4 for his rookie career, for his rookie season, leading his Denver Nuggets to 25 more wins than they did the previous year without him, making the playoffs unlike LeBron? Are you going to tell me the media is not biased towards Carmelo Anthony? Come on, man. At the end of the day, it doesn't even matter, man. Paul George got embarrassed. How the hell are you supposed to be a better player than Carmelo Anthony? Like all these Indiana Pacers fans say, oh, we're better than Melo. Melo's overrated. Okay. So what the hell happened last night? You have two of some of the best defenders in the league on Carmelo Anthony. First it was Paul George, then it was Thaddeus Young, then back to Paul George, then Thaddeus Young. You know why they put Thaddeus Young on Carmelo Anthony? Because Paul George can't guard him. How the hell are you supposed to be one of the top players in the world and you can't guard another top player? Are you Stephen Curry now? Should we switch his name from Paul to Stephanie? Is that what we should do? Because this is absolutely ridiculous. He got absolutely torched, embarrassed, flamed, cooked, whatever the hell you want to say, by Carmelo Anthony. And then they had the audacity to put Thaddeus Young on Carmelo Anthony. Thaddeus Young. How disrespectful can you be? Who the hell puts Thaddeus Young? I know he's a great defender, but on Carmelo? Your best chance was to keep Paul George, and even with Paul George on him, you had no chance. Thaddeus Young, he got floored, embarrassed. Who the hell plays up on Carmelo Anthony? Who plays up on Melo? He's 6'8", 240, all muscle. Who plays up on that? Yes, he can shoot, but he takes people off the dribble. He has the quickest first step in the world. So why the hell would you play up on it? Why would you play tight defense? You have to play up, but not chest to chest. Stupid. That's why he got floored. Melo, that quick first step. Ooh, pull back. Flew. He didn't just fall on the floor. He flew all the way towards the paint. And guess what happened? Melo pulled up. Easy jump shot because that's what he does. 35 points. Are you kidding me?